Welcome to Big Boof Bets. This is the Dat Money podcast. I am Nate Stevenson, and as always, I am joined by Mr. Big Boofy Skirman and Mr. Tony T-Bone Guarino. How's everybody doing today?
Well, I'm doing okay, man. The Locks had a negative week for the first time in a while, and then I had to eat some crow from you via text message the last few days about the old pizza box this week. So I'm doing about as good as I can be. Besides that, we still get to talk some ball today and play some bets, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, you narrowly avoided an 0-3 week there, Chief, or you made sure you specified to me 0-2-1 via the push on the.
First off, 1-1. I backed out of the Atlanta one mid-podcast. That was never officially on the books.
Oh, that's like I said. I said you avoided.
All I do is win, no matter what.
So, yeah.
How you doing, Toad? I know Boof's butt hurt.
No, I'm doing great just because I get the pleasure or privilege of taking a front row seat to this drama between you two. It's better than reality television. Certainly better than the NFL has been on the betting front for me. But just another one of those wild weeks, and all the more excitement to get on to a holiday week. We got the big Thursday, 3 games on Thursday. I love Thanksgiving football week. Can't wait to get talking about this.
Yeah, man, I'm definitely looking forward to a lot of ball on Turkey Day here. So it's definitely one of the best holidays of the year because you get family, friends, food, and a lot of football, and hopefully a lot of units. So speaking of units, Boof, how about we recap those locks and then tell people how much money they're going to win this week?
All right, we can do that. It was a disappointing week for us, especially by our standards. Locks went 3-5 last week. Losers were the Cardinals plus 3.5, and the Cardinals team total to go over 26.5. For me personally, that was probably the most disappointing game. I just really expected a lot more out of Arizona in that one. We then had the Washington and Bengals to go over 46.5, Patriots minus 2.5, and the Chiefs minus 6.5. Our winners were the Panthers minus 1.5, which we placed that bet under the assumption that Teddy Bridgewater was going to play. Sunday they get the news that he is not playing, and PJ Walker just came in and balled out for us. Didn't matter. We got the win anyway. Eagles and Browns under 46, and Steelers minus 10. We also had 2 conditional picks where the condition was not met. I am very happy neither condition was met because both would have been losers. It was Dolphins minus 3 and Bucks minus 3. Neither one of us were able to place any of those bets. That line did not become available to us. So
that's why you conditionally lock those, buddy. That's why you can
get the line that you want. That brings our total to the year to 44, 36, and 1 with a 55% success rate. We also had 11 prop bets that we shared. We went 6-5 on those. And that brings our total on the season for that to 24-14 with a 63.16 success rate. Those have been great for us. I highly recommend checking us out every single Sunday. We will be sharing them. And it's definitely worth following us on all social media at Big Boof Bets. And Nate, I know you had a couple comments on some of the games from last week that you wanted to get out there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was, as I said pre-show there, I was pissed about the Dolphins. I don't see how you lose to a horrible Broncos team. And even more so, I know I gave out two attack on college bets to the parlay last week, the end of show parlay last week, and Penn State lost comfortably. So that bet hit. I said about laying the points with Iowa, that minus 2.5, no problem there. And I also said about laying the points with Purdue, which was also minus 2.5. That should have comfortably hit. Well, not comfortably hit. It should have hit. Purdue should have won by 3, and there was a horrendous pass interference call at the end of the game that literally took away the game-winning touchdown. It was so bad that FanDuel actually refunded all spread and money line bets on Purdue, both pregame and live. saying that it was pretty much the worst call ever and that Purdue should have won. So, yeah, when you get a book doing something like that, that's a bad beat. So I was definitely upset about that. But all in all, I had a solid college Saturday, which saved my weekend. So I can't complain too much, but we always like the show parlay to get it done for people. So apologies for that.
Well, that's why we could just move on into week 12 and look for some redemption. So without further ado, let's kick things off with some Turkey Day action. Starting off with the 12:30 game, which will be between the Houston Texans and the Detroit Lions. Lions at home. Texans laying 3 and the over-under at 51.5.
Well, first of all, you have the Detroit Lions coming off a 20-0 loss to the Carolina Panthers and backup quarterback P.J. Walker. Matt Stafford's thumb injury, obviously more of a problem than was originally reported. No Kenny Galladay, which definitely hurts that Lions offense. I'm assuming, from everything I've heard, both of those things are still going to be the case this week. I've seen enough from this Lions team where I'm not giving them the Turkey Day boost. I'm not giving them they're playing for pride because they're on national TV and all this stuff. They just suck. The Lions just suck. They have a bunch of injuries, which is a big reason they suck. And Matt Patricia is a lame duck coach who has proven to just be another Belichick assistant who was made by coaching under Bill Belichick, and he sucks. So give me the Houston Texans here, laying 3 points. Looking good, actually, against, ironically, Bill Belichick and getting the victory last week. We're only laying 3. We have Watson, Fuller, and Cooks getting it done on offense. Give me the Texans.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on this one, buddy. I know when we were talking during the discussion before we record, those injuries for the Lions, man, especially Galladay and Stafford. Galladay in particular, it's been very noticeable. The quality of their offense is just a couple notches worse when he's out. And then obviously when your starting quarterback is banged up, you saw the result last week. They did not score a point. So love the Texans -3. And we're going to have our first lock of the week, hopefully in the bag before you even carve your turkey on Thursday.
Oh, yeah, lock it in. Get that money.
All right, well, let's move on to the next Turkey Day game, which will be between the Washington football team at the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys laying 3 and the over-under at 46.5.
I like the football team to get the job done here. We're getting 3 points. They comfortably beat the Dallas Cowboys last time they played, 25-3. The Andy Dalton-led Cowboys last time. So even though they do seem to be getting healthier, they being the Cowboys, I don't really see Dallas making up over 20 points in this game. I expect the Washington defensive front to dominate again. It wouldn't surprise me if it's a little bit closer. Dallas has been getting healthier on the offensive line, but they're still missing their left tackle. They've still shuffled some guys around just to try to give themselves a better chance at protecting their quarterback and running the ball. And like I said, the strength of the Washington football team is their defensive front. So considering all of that and what happened the first time they played, I think you're getting a field goal with Washington. That's the good way to go in this game.
Yeah, guys. I mean, Alex Smith has just looked pretty good since he's come in. And then all the reasons that Nate said, I'm also down with Washington, +3. And we have another lock this week.
Oh, yeah, lock it in. Get that money.
All right, now that we got the exhibition games out of the way, let's go on to the main event for Turkey Day, which is the Baltimore Ravens at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers laying 5.5, over/under at 44.5.
Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Oh man, I love the Steelers here, brother. Like that's 10-0. We the funny part is, as a Steeler fan, I really want to say that we made it past the Jaguars and the Cowboys, which, if anybody knows about the Tomlin loss, and I definitely know a lot of people do, could be argued were the hardest games of the regular season. So Yeah, we're at 10-0 here. We got Baltimore coming in on a short week. A lot of COVID issues reported so far. They're already going to be without J.K. Dobbins and Mark Ingram. So you're going to be looking at Gus Edwards toting the rock for the Ravens. Also reported there's a couple more people testing positive as of this moment. We are not exactly sure who that is, but the game is still scheduled to be played. So right now, I mean, I got to take the Steelers here. I definitely like them to win, and I would be tempted to lay the points depending on again who those extra COVID cases are for the Ravens. But being that it's unknown and we are a victim of when we record, we're going to lay off that. The last time these two teams played, there was 51 points scored. Steelers winning 27-24. Total is 45. Again, I would lean over there. I would expect Baltimore to employ a similar game plan and try to avoid the interceptions that ultimately helped the Steelers win the game for Lamar Jackson. So if they can run the ball and not turn the ball over, this there could be they could be a lot of points scored on both sides. So we'll see. But give me the Steelers money line. And that's where I'm going to go from there.
Yeah, the Ravens actually had 5 more guys test positive today, and then I believe 4 more coaches. It's my understanding if there are no more tests tomorrow, like the facility was already shut down, if there are no more positive tests, then the game will continue to be played as scheduled. So Ravens definitely have some challenges to overcome. I mean, they're going to be shorthanded. They're not going to be able to do any sort of real practice. So difficult to be properly prepared for a game like that. The only thing is these Steelers-Ravens games, man, they just have a way of being close. So at the end of the day, I am going to pass.
All right, well, let's take things on over in the Sunday and kick things off, no pun intended, with the Arizona Cardinals at the New England Patriots. Cardinals laying 2, and you're over-under at 49.5.
Well, as long as Kyler Murray is healthy enough to play, I do like the Cardinals -2. Everything I've heard at the moment does point to him playing. For those who don't know, he did get his shoulder dinged up a little bit on Thursday against the Seahawks, although he did finish. That was in the, I believe it was in the first quarter. So he did finish the game. So again, that points well for him actually being ready to play on a long week, having 10 days off to prepare. So as long as Kyler Murray's good, I like the Cards -2. The Pats, you got to think here that the Texans' loss was the knockout blow for their playoff hopes. And point blank, like the Cards are just a much better team than the Texans. So we're only laying 2. Give me the Cards.
Yeah, I definitely think it's worth paying attention to any sort of news that comes out about Kyler Murray's shoulder. But barring anything catastrophic, I also love the Cardinals -2. I just think they're a way better team. I would really like them to stay out of the penalty box, if you will, because that definitely derailed them a little bit against Seattle. But I don't know. Hopefully we can, keep it under like 100 yards, and we should cruise to an easy win here. Cards -2. It's another lock.
Oh, yeah, lock it in. Get that money.
All right, up next, we have the Carolina Panthers at the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings laying 4.5, and your over-under is yet to be determined.
And I believe that is because Mr. Teddy Bridgewater has not been officially declared as probable for the game yet, but all reports is that he is trending towards playing. My understanding was last week he was available on an emergency basis and really could have played if necessary. So if that was the case last week, I would believe that this week he's going to play. So you give me Mr. Teddy Bridgewater, who is a cover machine against the Vikings team that is weak in the secondary. And let's face it, one of the strengths of the Carolina Panthers offense is those 2 wonderful outside receivers and Mr. DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. And Mike Davis doing a great job filling in for McCaffrey. Hasn't been much of a drop-off there. Definitely expect some points to be scored. Wouldn't surprise me if Carolina actually pulls out the victory, but you're giving me over a field goal at 4.5. I'll take the points with the Panthers.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Even if Teddy Bridgewater doesn't play, PJ Walker looked great last week. And I saw an interesting thing about his history. I did not realize that he played for Matt Rule at Temple. So he was not completely unfamiliar with how they do things. And obviously that contributed to a great performance on Sunday where they won 20-0. This week, we're getting 4.5 points. Love that. Panthers plus 4.5. It's another lock for us.
Oh, yeah, lock it in. Get that money.
Ooh, plenty of pie to go around for everybody this week. All right, let's move on to the Cleveland Browns at the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Browns laying 6.5, and you're over-under at 49.
So we got the Browns laying just under a touchdown, a team that, in my opinion, is not as good as its record. Doesn't have a great quarterback, does everything it can to I guess you could say, I don't know, protect its quarterback or hide its quarterback, which generally if you're a team that's trying to hide your quarterback, doesn't look good for your future. So I definitely am not laying the points with the Browns. And then we have the Jags, who, I mean, they're just a team that, honestly, in most of their games, they just hang around. And I mean, honestly, like last week against the Steelers, if they're going in to tie the game 10-10 and they turn the ball over deep in the red zone there, if they don't do that, that could be an entirely different ball game. Jake Louis Vuitton, whatever the hell his name is, I never can ever get it right. Like he's not bad. Like I would even argue, at the risk of angering some of my Cleveland Browns friends, that he might be the better quarterback in this game. Like, you don't see the Jaguars trying to insulate Jake Luton, and he's a 6th-round rookie. So that's saying something. So if I would be interested, honestly, and I can't believe I'm saying this, taking the points with the Jags if it got up to 7.
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth. I think the best way you play this is watch the line. If it gets to 7, take the Jags there. We probably told you this was probably about a month ago, but Cleveland should not be laying a touchdown versus anybody except for the Jets. Jags stink, but they're not quite the Jets. I think they can cover a +7. So we are going to conditionally lock this one at +7.
Oh, yeah, lock it in. Get that money. Conditionally.
Okay, up next, we have the Las Vegas Raiders at the Atlanta Falcons. Raiders laying 3, and you're over-under at 55.5.
I got to say, the Raiders have definitely made me a believer. I expected the Chiefs to blow them out last week. At least cover a touchdown, obviously, since we locked the Chiefs at a touchdown. So definitely disappointed that the Chiefs did not do that. But the Raiders, if you really look over their schedule, they have a lot of impressive wins. They almost beat the Chiefs twice. I mean, that's a big deal. And now they're going to Atlanta against the Falcons team, which basically at this point just playing out the string. Julio Jones looking like he is not going to play, which is a huge deal. So, I mean, honestly, in a lot of ways, the Falcons is I said to Boof pre-show, like, they're a much worse version of the Chiefs offensively. And he's like, yeah, no crap. But for real, though, like, they're a big team. They like to air it out. They have a lot of skill. Now they're missing some of that skill. The Raiders have looked really good. Give me the Raiders -3.
Yeah, the Raiders, this is probably as much respect as I can give to somebody after coming off of a loss. But their offense was just awesome on Sunday night, and they've really been like that all season. And Derek Carr was out there looking like Peyton Manning, man. He was getting up to the line of scrimmage with over 25 seconds left on the play clock and changing the play and making a bunch of audibles, and everything was working. So the Raiders' offense is definitely for real. Obviously, the concern is their defense, but like you said, Julio Jones is out. I think we can slow down Atlanta enough. I love the Raiders -3. I would entertain the over 55.5. To me, both of these teams are very overable to bet on them. But that number is still a little high. But if you're feeling it, go for it. I would lean over on that, and it's worth some consideration. But most importantly, Raiders -3 is a lock.
Oh, yeah, lock it in. Get that money. The Raiders.
All right, next we'll take a look at the Los Angeles Chargers at the Buffalo Bills. Bills laying 5.5, and the over-under at 53.5.
Hey, Boof, what do you like in this game?
I know. I kind of, these are all my guys here. You know what I mean? If you made me, I would take the Chargers with the points.
Oh, this is all your guys. That's why I had to throw it over to you, man. You got your boy Herbert, you got your boy Josh Allen and the Bills. I mean, you can circle the wagons, and then also a big lightning strike hits the middle of them, in the Chargers. So, yeah, don't feel strongly either way here. With the Chargers, you always want to be getting points. That is definitely something that has proven true this year. So if you made me, I would take the points with the Chargers and also lean the Bills to win the game. So that's a lot of both side action there. So honestly, probably if you were going to bet it, that probably would be the worst way to bet it, honestly. But nothing strong enough for me to lock.
So, spoiler alert, if you would make me, I would take the Chargers plus 5.5. I do think this will be an entertaining game to watch. Both teams can score. I think over 53.5 is worth looking into as well. I just see I'm in the same window as Nate. I think Bills win, but Chargers cover, but don't feel strong enough about it to go ahead and lock it. So I'm passing.
All right. Well, next we have the Miami Dolphins at the New York Jets. Dolphins laying 6.5, and you over under at 44.5.
Expect a bounce back week from the Dolphins here, and they're laying under a touchdown against the Jets. So at this point, you guys should already know the deal. Dolphins minus 6.5.
Yeah, I really am shocked that we still get lines with the Jets under a touchdown. So I guess I'm pretty happy that like Tua got benched last week because that's probably why we got this. But I don't really care who plays quarterback. They can alternate every drive for all I care. Dolphins minus 6.5. Get it while you can. The other sites are already getting up to 7. So Dolphins minus 6.5. It's a lock.
Oh, yeah, lock it in. Get that money. Laces out.
All right, moving on, we have the New York Giants at the Cincinnati Bengals. The Giants laying 5.5, and you're over under at 42.5.
Oh, gotta love the G-Man. I don't know why I keep channeling Chris Berman tonight, even though I can't stand him. The biggest reason for this handicap is the Bengals just without Joe Burrow, which, by the way, really sucks seeing him getting hurt last week. The Bengals are just not the same team without him a quarterback. They go from a below average team to one of the worst teams in the league. And the Giants have been looking kind of better. If you want to say that they're maybe the best team recently in the NFC least, then sure. That's what we'll go with. But I mean, they haven't looked as bad as a lot of their teams in the division recently. I liked some of the things I've seen with them offensively, and I just honestly I don't expect the Bengals to score that many points, and they have a bad defense. So we're laying 5.5 points, so we're under a touchdown. I would be comfortable laying it up to a touchdown with the Giants. So give me the Giants.
Yeah, Cincinnati was the worst team in the NFL last season. They basically added Joe Burrow and T. Higgins, and you're seeing what they have been this year, which is a lot more competitive, still losing most of their games, but they at least look like they're heading in the right direction. Joe Burrow is now out. That is an enormous deal. And the guy coming in is Ryan Finley. We saw him last season, so they're not even going to get this like new unknown QB boost. We already saw him last season. He stinks. To me, the Bengals are down there in like Jets territory. So under a touchdown versus literally anybody in the league besides the Jets, I'll be betting against them. This falls in that category. Giants minus 5.5. It's a lock for us.
Oh, yeah, lock it in. Get that money.
The final 1 o'clock game is the Tennessee Titans at the Indianapolis Colts. Colts laying 3.5, and the over-under at 50.5.
Yeah, I definitely think the numbers are about right on this game. Last time these two played, Colts pulled out a 34-17 victory. 14 of those points largely due to a shanked 17-yard punt deep in their own territory and a punt block for a touchdown. So way different game if that doesn't happen. So, which by the way, push the total to 51, which would have just hit the over on this current total. I would take the points with the Titans if I made me pick a side, but don't feel strongly enough about really anything to bet.
Yep, I think you got to show the Colts a little bit of love with the way they've played recently. But really, I can see this game going either way, and I'm going to pass.
All right, to start off the 4 o'clock hour on Sunday, we have the New Orleans Saints at the Denver Broncos. Saints laying 5.5, and the over/under at 43.5.
Yeah, give me the Saints. We're laying under a touchdown against a Broncos team that's just it's not very good. And granted, a lot of that has been through all the injuries they've suffered this year, but it is what it is for them right now. They're not a great team. Drew Lock is still on the mend, and honestly, the only time he's really looked good over the past month plus is in garbage time. And he's going to be going up against one of the best defenses in the league in the Saints. I don't care. Honestly, I don't even care that Marshawn Lattimore is allegedly probably not playing. I still don't think that makes much of a difference in this one. And I think the Saints, who have shown to be arguably the top team in the NFC, get the job done here. Lay the points with the Saints.
Yeah, I agree. I was very impressed with Taysom Hill last week, and I expect his play to continue. Saints defense has been great. Denver isn't that good. And I also am down to lay the points with the Saints. It's another lock for us.
Oh, yeah, lock it in. Get that money.
All right, moving on. We'll look at the San Francisco 49ers at the Los Angeles Rams. Rams laying 7, and the over/under at 45.5.
Yeah, pretty much everyone for the 49ers is still hurt of importance and note and however you want to classify it. Nick Mullen's still the quarterback, still don't have George Kittle. Now they're not going to have Ayuk because of COVID. Deebo Samuel might be back, but he'll have to deal with Jalen Ramsey covering him all game, so I expect him to be negated, which, considering he's just about the only offensive weapon they have left, I don't think that bodes very well for the Niners. So I like the Rams. I think they're trending upward. I think they look really good on Monday night against a upper tier team in the Buccaneers. We're laying a touchdown with the Rams. I'm fine with that. Let's lay it with the Rams.
Yeah, so the 49ers actually won the first meeting between these two. But like Nate said, I mean, Jimmy G, Kittle, Deebo Samuel, and Raheem Mostert all played in that game. Now, Mostert is potentially coming back off of IR this week, but, I wouldn't necessarily expect him to be 100%, especially his first game back. Deebo Samuel's, like Nate said, is supposed to come back potentially. Same thing, probably not going to be 100%. There's still no Kittle, still no Garoppolo. Those two are enormous. This team is not the same without him. Love the Rams -7. It's another lock for us. And just a pro tip I have to offer. So the payout on this on FanDuel right now is a -110. Now, if you do a little shopping, if you go over to FoxBet, the payout is +100. So, A, I recommend having multiple accounts, which I know we have told you in years past. But B, if you already do, take the extra step and compare, obviously, the lines, but also compare the payouts if they have the same line before you actually place your bet. See if you can squeeze a couple extra bucks out of them.
I like it, baby. Lock it in. Get that money.
All right, so that takes us to the final 4 o'clock game on Sunday, which is the Kansas City Chiefs at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Chiefs -3, and you're over/under at 55.5.
KCD does scare me a little bit with how they performed against the Raiders. It's like I know I looked at that first game as a little bit of an aberration, but the fact that the Raiders did it to him again definitely scares me a little bit. I say that because I expect the Tampa Bay offense to be better than the Raiders, even though we were giving the Raiders some love earlier, and they're definitely worthy of it. I still look at the Tampa Bay offense as better than the Raiders offense. And so getting to go against that KCD, I think that's a big deal. I still think they score a lot of points. And also, honestly, anytime you give me the Chiefs -3 pretty much against anybody, that's a great bet. It doesn't really matter who it's against because they're so good on offense. They have so many weapons. They have the soon-to-be new GOAT in Mr. Patty Mahomes. So you're giving me a field goal. That's never a wrong answer for me. So give me the Chiefs -3. And I also love the over of 55.5.
Yeah, now Tampa Bay, I think Tampa Bay is good, but I don't think they are great. And they've probably been even worse in these, nationally televised games, which I expect them to be since they're playing the Chiefs. The Chiefs are obviously, 9-1, 10-1, whatever. They've only lost one game in the last calendar year. That was to the Raiders this year. And I expect them to be able to cover -3 against Tampa Bay. And given how bad their defense looked on Sunday, I'm with you, Nate. I'm down to also take the over. So we're going to lock both of those this week.
Oh, yeah. Lock it in. Get that money. Twice.
All right, well, let's move into Sunday night's football action, which is the Chicago Bears at the Green Bay Packers. The Packers laying 8.5, and another mystery total for right now.
Yeah, mystery total, most likely to do with the fact that no starting quarterback for the Bears is yet known.
You'd think that would go in their favor.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. But I guess it's one of those things where if you're the third stringer behind Nick Foles and Mitch Trubisky, you must really suck. So. I mean, yeah, that's kind of the way I'm looking at it right now at the moment. So Green Bay laying the points. I mean, knee-jerk reaction is we'll lay the points with Green Bay. But honestly, pre-show, Boof gave me a lot of compelling evidence, like when the Packers were playing the Mitch Trubisky-led Bears. And the Packers just never, like point blank, never covered that number, which is just amazing to me. And I'm not saying it can't happen. Like, honestly, my gut feeling is this is one of those things where it hasn't happened, so it's bound to happen type of thing. But you can't always go about your betting life, at least very often, with that type of rationale. That's called gambler's fallacy. Fallacy, important thing, fail. Don't want to fail, don't want to lose money. So I think the safest thing here is take the Green Bay money line or do a Green Bay halftime, full-time, because I do expect them to be winning the entire game. It's just the Bears have a penchant to keep it close, and it kind of reduces your risk in case they do.
Yeah, so what I've read and seen, it is trending towards Mitch Trubisky getting the start in this game. And like Nate said, there's a little bit of history with these two teams. Now, a lot of times, to me, you can throw history out the window. Who cares? There isn't a lot of turnover with these two rosters from last year to this year and before. Still the same head coach and quarterback, most importantly. Last year, Green Bay won by 8 and by 7, and the year before that, they actually split with Chicago, and the game they won was only by 1. So the last 4 meetings, they have not covered the number of 8.5, and the Bears this season have only lost one game by at least 8.5 points. So if you made me, I would actually take the points with the Bears. It's just no way do I actually trust that to go ahead and put my hard-earned money and everybody else's hard-earned money on the line. So I think the right play is to simply pass.
All right, well, that takes us to our final Week 12 game, which is the Monday Night Football matchup between the Seattle Seahawks at the Philadelphia Eagles. Seahawks laying 5, and you're over-under at 51.
I think we have been, maybe not even we, maybe more so me, because I know Boofy has been much harder on the Eagles than I have. Like, I keep thinking that the healthier the Eagles get, they're actually going to look like a semi-good football team, and they just keep not doing that. They'll get a guy back here and there, and they just continue to suck. So maybe it's finally just time to call a turd, and they suck. So they suck. I can't do it. I can't do it. The Seahawks are one of the best offenses in the league. We're laying under a touchdown against the team who sucks. So give me the Seahawks, and I will lay the 5.
The Seahawks' biggest weakness has been their passing defense. They have at least been better the last 2 weeks. Beyond that, I don't really see, even if they were still playing like crap, I don't see how Philly's going to take advantage of that. Their offense has been lousy. And obviously, offensively for Seattle, they've been great this year. I expect them to cover -5 comfortably, and we will be finishing the week with one more lock.
Oh, yeah, lock it in. Get that money.
All right, well, that does it for me this week, boys. I'm done with my portion. Going to be passing it on to your portion. Going to stretch that stomach. Get ready for all that food and football Thursday action. Before I pass it over, happy Turkey Day to you guys and to everybody else out there.
Thank you, Tone. Happy Turkey Day.
Yeah, happy Turkey Day, Tone. Boof. How about them locks, Boof?
Thanks, Nate. It's only Tuesday, but here at the Big Boof Bets Get That Money podcast, it's more like a Black Friday with a potential 13 locks for the week. A podcast record whether we get this Jags conditional or not. They are the Texans -3, Washington +3, Cardinals -2, Panthers +4.5, Jaguars +7 conditionally, Raiders -3, Dolphins -6.5, Giants -5.5, Saints -5.5, Rams -7, Chiefs -3, Chiefs and Bucks to go over the total of 55.5, and the Seahawks -5. And I believe Nate has more than one parlay for us this week.
Tactical nuke incoming!
Oh, yes, we do. In the spirit of the holiday season and giving and Black Friday coming up, we need to help people get them units. We're going to give everybody a little bit more of an inside deep dive into Nate's parlay tier betting strategy here. So we have a couple parlays, hopefully get everybody a lot of units. And we're going to start it off here with the monster. And that's going to be Texans money line, Washington football team +10.5 buying points, Steelers money line, Cards money line, Panthers +10 buying some points, Raiders money line, Chargers +11.5 buying some points, Dolphins money line, Giants -5.5, Saints money line, Rams money line, Chiefs +4.5 buying some points, Green Bay money line, and the Seahawks money line, which gives you +16,482 on the odds, which means a $100 bet would win you $16,482. That's the big one. And we have a little bonus one for the big one. If you tack on the Boston College Eagles on Saturday onto that beautiful parlay to make it a 15-leg parlay, that would make your odds 30,509, which means a $100 bet would win you 30 G's and $509. So that's a lot of money. That'll take care of your holiday shopping for you. And to go a little further here, if you just go back to the original NFL only parlay, I said, subtract the Texans and Steelers if you want to feel a little bit more comfortable. That brings your odds down to 59.51. So again, a $100 bet would win you $5,951. And then further subtracting teams, we will then subtract the Washington football team, the Cards, and substitute the Giants spread of 5.5 for the Giants money line, and subtract the Chargers. That brings your odds down to 1635, which means a $100 bet would win you $1,635. And lastly, what is privately known to me and Boof as the get out of jail free parlay. If you just want to be as safe as you can and win a few units, we just got the Dolphins, Giants, Saints, and Packers on the money line for +226, which means a $100 bet will win you $226.
All right, Nate, as always, thank you for sharing. Just one thing that I wanted to share that I am thankful for this holiday season here. I got great friends and family that I love and that love me. So obviously, very thankful for that. And just the fact that we've been able to have a football season and get to do this podcast every week, I'm very thankful for that. Beyond that, best of luck to everybody. and let's get that money.
Amen, man. Well said. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and let's get that money.